I am so excited about our call. As you know, my main focus is I have a hedge fund in San Francisco, and we expand nationwide to look for commercial properties. I have my educational company since 1999. We've been training people for 15 years. Very active in commercial real estate since 2007. I am neither an attorney nor a CPA, although I have attorneys working for me full time and CPA firms working with me on many tax structures, etc., to assist students and many people that work with us. And the website for the hedge fund is mixif.com, which is Metawar International Group Secured Income Fund. You can watch the website. It talks about the properties we have under contract and what we're working on for the fund. The hedge fund invites any student that wants to join us from as little as $25,000 they can invest with me to as much as millions of dollars. And we pay a very nice return of 8% per year. And it's steady. The money is secured against all the properties in the fund. It's filed with the SEC. You can go to sec.gov and actually go to Edgar filings and then put Mixif, and you will see that it was filed in 2009. We've been up and running over 5 years now. We're making very good money. A lot of students enjoy it and can make it happen. If you're accredited, that means you have a net worth of 1 million, you can join. If you're not accredited, you can join through another entity I have that has assets over 5 million to be in compliance with SEC. So anyone practically on this call that want to invest IRA money or other type of money, I welcome you to join me and make money with me in the fund. The educational company that we have is CMREI, Sharif Mirawar Real Estate Investing. I love real estate. We've always done very well with it. We keep growing. And the nature of the call today is to define and explain to you how you can make money with the fund. Instead of just giving me the money to invest it for you, I want you to see how I do it. I want you to go out there, find the deals, and make the money with me, and you can assign to the fund. So this is very exciting. I will talk about the FACT system. I created the FACT systems in 2003, and that's so it's been 11 years because people wanted a business model. People kept telling me, okay, Sharif, what do I do first? Then what do I do second? What do I do third? This could work for any type of commercial property. It also works for residential. Well, let's dissect it here and work together on this. I want you to learn how to find the properties below market. Find the best possible deals. This is where the money is. If you can come in on a property worth $1 million and get it at 600 or 700, guess what? You already made your money coming in. You realize the gains when you do something with it, when you resell it, or when you get a tenant in and refinance it, etc. Or you can even assign it. But finding the right deals is of the utmost importance. And also finding the tenant. All commercial properties life, the oxygen that actually creates the life of the building is the tenant that pays the rent. If you have a shopping mall, you need big tenants, national tenants, retailers, jewelers, fast food chains, etc., restaurants. If you have an apartment building, you need some, renters, mom and pop. If you have a hotel, you need overnight stayers. If you have extended stay buildings, you need executives that are going to stay, or maybe people relocating. If you have warehouses, you need big companies that are going to use it. Tenants are key. Finding the property that has the right price and the right upside opportunity for value increase based on the tenant you bring in is where the big money is made. And you don't have to wait years for doing it. If you find a property as a good deal because it has some problem and you bring in a tenant that is a better tenant that's going to sign a better lease, the added value is instantaneous and the money is huge. So, how do you know that? You go to the A for analyzing the numbers. I'm going to dissect it a bit more with you on analyzing numbers, what numbers, and the local trend. There is a trend for every area. You don't have to do the macroeconomics of the whole entire country. Who cares about that stuff? You just want to know what's happening down the street, around the corner. Is the area growing, etc. And then you want to be able to control the deal. Very simple negotiations to get that property under contract, make the right offer, and have the contract signed. There's no obligation for you to buy. When you put a property under contract, you're under no obligation to purchase. You have 30 to 45 days on a commercial property to change your mind anytime. It's called the due diligence period. It's a contingency period. It's a period during which you have the right to inspect the property, access the property, show it to even some other partner, show it to the bank, show it to an inspector, show it to all this, show it to the tenants, and then decide if it's for you or not. So you have an offer, you locked in the deal, you signed the contract. but you don't have a downside because if you change your mind, you walk away. So the idea here is to line up a tenant, and if the tenant is going to pay X, which is going to increase the value of the property, you got a home run. You can buy it or you can assign it. So your idea now is to time the process of getting that tenant, to do the due diligence with the tenants, to see if you're going to do the financing to close or you're going to assign, and your close will be to just walk away. And somebody like me, my hedge fund, me personally, will come in and will just buy cash. So the strategy that you want, the S, is to strategize for the highest and best use of the property and alternative ways to make the deal happen for you. You can even have the property leased and subleased. But what we want is to actually focus on getting the best price on a single tenant building. And guys, for those of you on this call today, the same principles and the same business model would work if you're trying to find any other type of commercial property. If you want a hotel motel, if you want a warehouse, storage facility, apartment building, and all these types of properties out there would work same way. How do I get the best possible price? Now, I want you to think, where are the best deals? The best deals are with people that are in a distressed situation. So you can have a distressed property or you can have a distressed seller. These are two different things. Let's talk about distressed situation. Finding a distressed sale is not so difficult in commercial real estate. You can literally look around and find a vacant property with no income whatsoever. Even if it's paid off and the owner needs the income to live on it, live off of the income, he is or she is in a distressed situation. You can come in and make them an offer that is below comparable sales, below value, and they're happy they're going to get out, and you have a potential to add value and bring in the property to the next level. You're solving their problem, you're making some money. What if it's a vacant property with a high debt obligation? A lot of properties that are vacant still have debt obligation and high payments, and people just want out. And how do you identify these properties? You know, you can pursue these or you can attract these. You can literally call brokers and ask them for deals they have, or call properties that are vacant, go to the county and find out an address. You saw a property that's vacant, there is no signs, find out who the owner is, and you call them and you send them an email. You can go to a website called anywho.com, anywho, W-H-O.com, and then you can put an address, and then you can probably find out a name and a phone number. If not, you can go to the county and do it and check it from the tax information, the property taxes. You can even do a lot of that online in many states. In Florida, you can do it online, for instance. In Arizona, you can do it online. So finding a property that has debt problems, that's a distressed sale. And I'll talk about that in more details here. Properties soon to be vacated. I mean, I'll give you a situation right now I'm working on. This gentleman that owns a property, he called me up out of nowhere, and he said, look, I got a tenant. They got a few months left on the lease. They're paying $12,000 a month. They have been in the building for almost 10 years. It's going to expire soon, and they're leaving. The property is going to be vacant. I need to sell it. I'll sell it to you right now at a discount. I cannot run with this property for 1 month without a tenant. I'm just in trouble with some other property. This property I owe so little against it, and I can't even refinance and cash it out because the bank said to me, I am behind on payments on another property, and this property, the tenant is not going to renew the lease. They're leaving. They have been there forever, and now they're leaving. So can you buy it from me? I'll give you a very good deal. Just let me walk away. So it's interesting because this guy had actually made him an offer on the property many years ago when it was vacant, and then he got that tenant in. So now I told him, all right, let me take a look. This is going to be a vacant property, but now it's occupied. So at least I got some income in the meantime while I line up another tenant. He doesn't know how to line up another tenant. He doesn't know that I do this and I teach people. He just wants out and wants a solution. Tenant is paying $12,000. It's got just a few more months. So I asked him, I said, can I have the lease so I can see what how many months are remaining and any terms, anything, how they're going to leave, in what condition they're going to leave the property. He sent me the lease. There are 7 months left. So I called him back. I left him a voicemail. I said, please call me. I need your okay so I can call the tenant directly to work a couple things with them if it's okay, and maybe I can see if I can do something with them. He sent me an email. He said, yeah, do whatever you want. You have my okay to call them. I just want to close as soon as possible. I need something in writing. I need to show the bank that I'm selling this so they don't start foreclosing, etc. I mean, talk about the distress situation with a property soon to be vacated. I called the tenant and I said, hi, my name is Sharif Medawar. I'm going to be making an offer on the property located at XYZ area, etc., etc. And the tenant says to me, but why are you calling me? You're not the owner yet. I said, yes, but I just want to know, are you going to renew? He said, no, we told him we're not going to renew. I said, but why? Are you not doing well? He said, well, we got issues. The roof is leaking. He doesn't want to fix it. We've talked to him before. We have issues with the area in the back area that the door doesn't close. We're not going to be fixing stuff like this. We were tired of that. And I said, well, so what happened? He said, well, we fixed the roof 6 years ago because he wouldn't fix it and he wouldn't give us discount in the rent. So we have issues. I said, would you like to stay if I actually fix the roof? And the guy said, well, we're willing to fix the roof if you actually discount for us. I said, so would you sign 10 years? He said, no, not 10 years. I'll sign 5. I said, well, I'll buy the property and I'll give you a discount. I'll give you $10,000 a month for 24 months, which will give you a saving of $48,000. You're paying 12 now, you'll pay 10. And then on year 3, we'll move you to 13,000, move you to 14, and then we'll leave you at 14 and 3% escalation after that for the remainder of the lease, and if you sign 10 years. He said, let me get this straight. You will drop my rent 2 years, increase it a little bit, and then 3% after that? I said, yes. He said, you have a deal. I said, can you send me something in writing? He said, well, show me that you have an option to purchase this property, or that you have a contract. I'll send you something in writing. So now I'm going to be putting an actual offer that is with a refundable deposit. He will sign. He's anxious to see it. I'll sign. I'll send it to them. I'll work with the tenant. And now I got a great deal. Why? He's in a distressed situation. He wants out. He put his ego on the table and started fighting the tenant, which is his bread and butter. And it's an amazing situation because he has pressure with something else and he doesn't know how to structure things right. So distressed sales can get you a great win-win. He's happy he's going to be leaving and selling the property. I'm happy I'm buying it at a good deal and the numbers are going to work out and I don't have to do much. Literally, I will give them a discount so they can fix the roof. I don't even have to mess with anything. Number 4, the stress situation. Everybody knows divorce causes a lot of problems. It's pretty sad. People want out, and when they want out, they will say, I'll discount. I just want to turn around, walk away, especially if the property has any type of challenge. The stress situation number 5, disputes and lawsuits. People get into disputes between partners, lawsuits with other people, and people then hold on to their assets. You know, I have an asset protection program. It's the best in the country. I'm not saying one of the best. It's the best in the country, no exaggeration. I have a team of attorneys that put it together, and you can verify it. And I tell you, most people don't have a clue how to protect their assets. They think putting it in a separate LLC is going to be saving them, and it's not, because they go into any equity you have in that property. So then they get into trouble. It becomes a distress situation. They want to sell the asset quickly. I was in a situation a few years ago where there was a court order by a judge to liquidate assets. So number 6, death and inheritance. So we have a situation, somebody died, family members inherit, they don't want to run the property, they just want to liquidate. So this is very important distress situation where you can help the family. Number 7, distress situation. People that are out of town or out of the country and have commercial properties usually don't have full control, don't have knowledge of what's happening, neighborhood, or what's going on. They just want out. Help them, get them out. Number 8, illness. Too bad, too sad. I don't wish it on anyone, but a lot of people that are ill have a complete different view on life. They just want out. They want the cash. They want to maybe distribute it between family members. So you can step in, you can say, all right, we'll cash you out, we'll make it happen. Number 9, default. What if they have a default situation with a tenant? They rented it to some mom and pop tenants. They're not paying, so it's challenging. Is that an opportunity for you to step in and resolve the matter? You know, I stepped in one time and I paid the tenant and I brought a truck to get this lady. She had all used the clothing store. Great location. She wasn't paying. I talked to the owner. This is many years ago in San Diego, California. I talked to the owner. I said, I see the for sale sign, and then I don't see it the next day. I see it, and then I don't see it the next day. What's going on? Every other day you change your mind? He said, no. Every time I put the sign, the renter comes out, she yanks it, and she throws it away. I'm fighting with her every day. She's not paying me rent. I said, do you mind if I go talk to her? I'd like to make you an offer. He said, make me an offer, then talk to her. I made the offer. I went, walked into the store, and I said, ma'am, I'm going to be buying the building. How can I help you? She started crying. She was in such a distressed situation, the renter herself. So the owner is distressed and the renter is depressed. How do you like that for a sad situation? I told her, look, I'll help you move your stuff out. We'll get you a truck, move it into this, pay you 1 month storage. But I got a great location, put a big national tenant, and helped her instead of all her stuff getting thrown out in an eviction. At least we put her in a decent place, and she went lived with her sister until she found another location to resell her consignment clothing, etc. Find ways to solve people's problems. They have so many communication problems. People have communication problems. They run into issues. They can't communicate with the tenant. They can communicate with the spouse, with an angry person that's suing them. I mean, it's crazy. And then they tell me they want to communicate with the dead. They couldn't communicate with the live people. Anyway, number 10, property condition. Sometimes the property is such a bad condition. All right, so who cares? I put it under contract. I start calling the tenants. A single tenant comes in and says, I would like the space, but my God, it's in shambles. Well, I work the deal with them. I'll fix it for you. Well, if you don't have the money, you can tell them I'll give you so many months free. And they can come in, and it's a quid pro quo. It's a type of, I give this, you give me that. The tenant wants a location, we work with them. Finding the right price on a building is huge. And then finding the right tenant for that location is going to make a big difference. So let's talk about these distress situations, what they lead to. They lead to foreclosure. And as you know, nationwide, the foreclosure goes through 3 stages. I want you to learn this because it's very important. If you understand it, you can use it and you can help people and you can make millions. I'm not talking thousands here. Stage 1 is the pre-foreclosure stage, when they send the owner of the retail building, the owner of a storage facility, or any type of commercial building, just like residential, in NOD, notice of default. Second notice of default comes from the bank, and then the notice of sale. NOS is notice of sale. You see it right here, NOS. These people selling directly, they're selling directly by the defaulted borrower, and or you can like literally can go to the defaulted borrower and say, I'd like to make the deal with you right here, right now. I know you're in trouble. I pulled it right there. You can subscribe to many websites that will sell you notice of defaults. You can Google that and get them. $30 a month, you get them. But the key thing is, I go to the owner, the borrower that's in default, and I say, I'd like to make you an offer. If he has equity, if he or she has equity in the property, I show them the proof of fund. You know, I give you guys, you want to work with me, I give you proof of funds for a lot of money. And I say, look, I got the money. Let me give you a little money here. Give me time to inspect the property. And then I start calling tenants and lining them up. If they're upside down, I tell the borrower, listen, I can cash you out. Let me put me in touch with your bank. And we talk to the bank and we say, I am a legitimate investor here. I'll show you my proof of funds. I'm a fund. If you're working with me, you could be the hedge fund representative. Here is the proof of fund. We want to make an offer, and the bank will say, okay, we can delay it an extra 30 days, or we have 45 days till the auction sale. And guess what we do in those 45 days? We have access to the property. You can call on the tenants and get somebody and solve everybody's problem. And it's a short sale, and the seller is happy, the bank is happy, and we came in, got a home run deal. And quite often, if you got a strong tenant, the bank can say, listen, I will do the write-off with this guy, the borrower that defaulted. I can give you a new loan based on this and that, because now you got a tenant coming in, and now we have a new loan. It's huge. Pre-foreclosure in commercial real estate is a lot easier to deal with because it's a lot less emotional. I used to do pre-foreclosure with residential. I would go to people at home, and people would start telling me their problems, and I would feel so bad because they're going to have to leave the home. Here, they don't live in a retail property. They don't live in an apartment building. They don't live in the hotel, etc. So selling directly by the defaulted borrower if they have some equity, or if they don't have equity, they're upside down. That means they owe more than that is value on the property. We just talk to the bank with their approval, and we get it under contract with the proof of fund letter that I show you, so it's legitimate, and you start lining up a tenant. If you can get a tenant, you walk away. There's no risk. You tried. Now, foreclosure auction sells at, this is when the properties, nobody helps the person in the pre-foreclosure. It sells at the auction courthouse. You know, there is a website called auction.com. The only sad part, guys, is you must have cash. Nationwide, you show up, you got to have cash. Now, what I like to watch in sometimes these auctions, and I track them, etc., is I want to see what the opening bid is. It's key. It's key to the actual value, because the actual property could be, we got this property at 123 Elm Street, and 700,000 is the amount owed. Opening bid 540,000. What? They're already doing a short sale right here. Now, it's not advisable for you, because I tell you, you don't want to buy a property that's vacant. You don't want to pay for it cash. The idea is to be able to lock them under contract with a few $1,000s, line up a tenant. If the tenant wants to come in and add value, that's when we buy, or that's when we assign. If not, we just walk away. We don't want to buy something empty. We don't want to buy a problem. Number three, which is a very good opportunity as well, is in the post foreclosure. So the pre-foreclosure, before it gets to the foreclosure auction, and after the foreclosure auction. Post foreclosure is the REO. It's also called bank-owned properties. It's also called non-performing asset department of a bank. It may be listed usually with a broker. Let me show you, for example, just a few minutes ago, I just was looking for Wells Fargo stuff specifically in Florida. Let me see, still have it open here. No, let's see. Oh yeah, here it is. I have it open here. Look at this. This is ore.wellsfargo.com. Okay, so they call it owned real estate.wellsfargo.com. Okay, and I was just looking specifically in an area in Florida, and here's what popped up. So let's look at this one, for example, 8134. I was looking, by the way, retail, as you can see here, retail properties, Florida, and I wanted to see what's available. Trying to pull it here, and for some reason it's not pulling. But anyway, you got the idea. This is public information. It's not like you have to. But if I would have pulled it, you would have seen that actually all the ones that are with Wells Fargo are listed with brokers. But the beauty is it's foreclosed on. It's sitting empty. So what do? We go to the bank, we call the broker, and we tell them, I would like to put the property under contract, and I'd like 60 days. I'd like 90 days. When it's a bank, when it's a big entity, they can give you more time, because there is no one really pushing as hard. So you can get 60 days, better put it under contract, and what do? You search for a tenant. So in the foreclosure stages, to recap what I just said, the most important two stages that you can make a killing profit is pre-foreclosure, post-foreclosure. Pre-foreclosure takes a little bit more work, because you have to talk to a borrower, you have to talk maybe to a bank. Post-foreclosure is a lot easier, because you're really talking to a broker regarding a bank-owned property. It goes a lot faster. And when you build rapport with some banks, you can talk to banks directly. So we talked about the F for finding properties. Let's talk about the A for analyzing the numbers. Two things you want to analyze: the numbers, the property numbers, and the trend. Let's talk about this real quick. Property numbers. I want to always look at what's the price to acquire the property. So this property, well, they wanted 1 million. I made them an offer at 600,000. They said, fine, let's put it under contract 600. They want to move quickly. It's sitting vacant. The next thing I look for is, what's the potential rental income I can get? I look at comparable rents in the area. I look at the big tenants that could come in, because the bigger the tenant, the more willing they're going to be to pay high amount of rent, because they want a specific area with neighboring tenants. So this is price versus value. Price is what you pay, value is what you're going to actually bring in. And you bring value to a property when you have income produced by a national tenant that has 5 key things. Minimum a 10-year lease, triple net, that means the tenant will pay tax, insurance, and maintenance. That's the beauty about single tenant properties. You're going to do the work once and enjoy life for 10 years. No more marketing, very little, if any, management. I mean, unless you're a sadomasochist and you just want to keep managing and working hard. You get the corporate guarantee, escalation, which is 3% a year increase, no hassles. And then how do you analyze the trend? You look, are there more stores opening in the area? Are there new properties coming up? Who are the neighboring tenants? What's the area growth? Is there more employment, more shopping? What's happening? You can look at it's an empirical observation. You look at it. How do you control then the property? You start negotiating. In pre-foreclosure, use the proof of fund letter. I'll give you a letter worth millions of dollars. You call either the borrower directly or call the borrower to give you an okay to talk to the bank on his or her behalf. You get it under contract if there is equity, or you get a short sale commitment to the bank if there is no equity. That means they will sell it for less than what's owed. Foreclosure auction, I do not recommend it for you because you'll have to have cash. Bank-owned properties, even if broker is involved, which is most likely what you're going to find with commercial, you get it under contract below value, not below comps. Who cares what the comparable sales are? It's below the value that you're going to add. You know you're going to bring the tenant is going to add value. And then B, get as much time as you can for the contract. Get 60 days if you can. And then you time the process. You identify a list of tenants that could be in the location. You look at the neighboring tenants. Well, these neighboring tenants, who is missing? Well, I look at all these tenants. There is no Quiznos, fast food, Subway. You look at maybe retailers. Oh my gosh, there's no Tommy Hilfiger, no Guess Jeans. You look at jewelry stores. Okay, there is no Pacific Jewelers. There is no Colombian Emeralds. There is no this. And you start having an eye for this. Get access to the tenant list I have on my website. You got over 4,000 tenants. You prepare an email with the proper wording, the photo on site to show the property and the neighboring tenants, the as-built, which is the plot plan, the map of the street on an Excel sheet, like those that will have the training, you know that there is just a business model that you use for the tenants so they can respond very quickly. Because then when you call a tenant and use the proper protocol to follow up, like I teach people, you send this and then the call is for them to open the email, then you follow up to answer that question, then you reach the letter of intent. This is the exciting part. When the tenant says, okay, I want a lease from you for 10 years, I'm willing to pay, X, and then the property is worth $1 million. You got it under contract at 600, and now you can strategize. Do you communicate with me directly? I am directly involved with students that do this. I'll pay you an assignment fee between 10 to 25% on each deal. You got a contract at 600,000 on this vacant property. Now its value is 1 million because of the tenant that you lined up, and I worked with you to line him up. The fee you will get on that $400,000 difference between the contract price and the value based on the income that the property will bring now with that tenant coming in is 400,000 difference, instant increase in value. You don't have to worry about buying it. If you don't have the money or you don't have the credit, I'll pay you an assignment fee of 40,000 to 100,000. How does that work? I do actually, there is no downside to you because why is it 40 to 100? If you got me a tenant that is not as big and it's 10 years, not all the escalations I need, I'm going to give you 40,000, 10%. If you got me a stronger lease, maybe 15-year lease, a bigger tenant, I'm going to give you 25% of the upside value. That's 100,000. I'm still making 300 for the fund. The hedge fund investors are happy. I am happy. You're happy. And the second deal, guess what? You do it yourself. I have students right now already. We have students that put properties under contract. They use the proof of funds. They're working with tenants. It's getting exciting. Number three, you have no downside. If no tenant responds to you within the contract due diligence period, you can walk away with no obligation. There's no downside for you. Number four, I pay cash to close as a hedge fund manager, and I pay you at the closing through the HUD one. The HUD one is the Housing Urban Development, which is the form at the closing. So it says 600,000 purchase from the hedge fund. Let's say $60,000 to Susie Johnson assignment fee, and then closing cost X, and that's it. The fund buys it. So what's the end goal? Your end goal is to get a property under contract for as long as possible, line up the solution that adds value, assign or buy as you see fit. I mean, some of you may just go ahead and buy it. More power to you. I hope the second deal you buy it, third deal you're up and running, maybe the fourth we partner up with my fund. Work with my fund in the single tenant retail arena, and you can get the biggest returns on your time, money, and effort, and get launched to the next level with no risk, guys. You have no risk. The key thing here is, do you really need to find distressed properties? No, you don't. You don't have to. You can actually drive by and look. I mean, most of the students right now, what they're doing is actually the students are getting so clever with this. They're working with brokers to find the opportunity on the retail properties that are sitting vacant. They're locking them under the contract using the proof of fund, and they're not using brokers. They're actually using the tenant list we have online to line up tenants. It is phenomenal. The progress we're doing and the momentum we're gaining is huge. This is truly for you guys, the no money down commercial real estate investing with me. People have asked me for years, let's do joint ventures, let's do joint ventures. I'm going to do everything for you. I'm going to give you the training. I'm going to show you how to do this step by step. And what's in it for me? You will line up the deal, assign it. And so you don't think I just want to do this. I understand some of you will actually um, buy it yourself, or maybe you will assign it to somebody else. As a matter of fact, I opened it to the joint venture students that took the training. I had a couple students that said, I took the training. Could you allow me to talk to other students and bid against you, Sharif, if they want to assign to me? I was like, okay, you want the assignment to be like, if Susie finds a property, she is in the joint venture training program, and she wants to assign it, you want her to ask you as well? So yeah, fine. Anybody that wants to bid on these and wants the assignment, you send us an email, you talk to us, tell us you want to be part of the program. I'm happy to have you get into it as well. So call now to reserve your spot. So how do we do this? You can enroll for $1,995. I'm going to train you on how to find the properties, how to analyze the numbers, how to talk to the tenants. I'll give you the list of the tenants. I'll show you exactly how to put it together. And I want you to make it happen and assign it to me. I pay all cash. I respond quickly, and I'll give you all the guidance you need. Call, write this number down, 407 608 5448. You call this number. I got people are going to answer you right now, get you going. I can't have a lot of people in the program. Now we have actually been doing it for a while, but please understand, you will have with this an online commercial real estate turnkey course. I have the whole thing filmed, even the negotiation with tenants. I have it filmed with the tenant consultant. It's a lot of fun. You can rewind. You will become an expert. Nobody in the country is training people on this. You will have a national tenant list with 4,000 tenants. I'll give you the exact business model documents you need. There is a package that you send to tenants. I send it to you. You have it in a Word doc. You'll have access to it. You will see exactly how to change the wording based on your area. It's in your own backyard. I will give you the proof of fund letter of $3 million from the fund itself. So you call somebody. I don't care if you're bankrupt. I don't care if you have no background in retail deals. I've talked to brokers that have 20 years experience. I've never done retail. I've never ever placed a tenant in a building. They listed buildings. They've done very well for their clients. Now it's time to do well for you. Use my proof of fund. Say you represent the fund. I'll show you a sample of it. People call me. All last week, I've had people confirmation from brokers. Are you the hedge fund manager? I just checked on the SEC.gov. Do you approve this person? Yes, I approve. I put it under contract. Let's get it going. So you're able to lock in great deals under contract. You will join venture with me on the single tenant retail properties and grow with me. Grow with me. You will have weekly support every Monday. We started that on Monday, the 14th of April. And every Monday I get on a call, and you guys, the joint venture team, get on the call. We have people in Dallas. We have people in St. Louis. We have people in Florida. We have people in New Jersey now. We just trained two people from one from New Jersey, one from New York this morning. Actually, I was in Cancun and we did the training, and I finished the training and literally took a flight. I'm talking to you right now here in New York because I have some meetings tomorrow. 1.5 days with me, face to face. We'll brainstorm, we'll role play, we'll make it so comfortable for you to do this. I'll work as hard as it takes with you to make it happen. You come and see me in Cancun. I have a home there, beachfront. Bring your swimsuit. We spend a day and a half, then go to the beach. Okay, we can go to San Juan. You can meet me in my property in San Juan. You know I walk the talk. Those that came to San Juan, those that come to San Juan, I have $50 million commercial portfolio I own in my name. Mixed use, you will see a lot of the single tenant retails. I've done it with hotels, offices. We had a section of the building we did it like a medical facility, but there is nothing more profitable than the single tenant retailers because it has no downside, huge upside. Again, the number 407 608 5448. Now, you will have on the website access for the online training and all the calls archived for the trainings I've done and I keep doing. All your questions will be answered. And we do that on Monday so everybody can benefit from everyone's questions and momentum and success stories and trials and tribulations. You'll have all the documents to use and make it happen. Access to 4,000 national tenants, guys, the proof of fund and everything. One-on-one time with me. People kept telling me for years, I want one-on-one time with you. I didn't want to do it. Now it is fantastic. We group people in groups of less than 10 and we make it happen. And right here, you see 4,000 national tenant platform created for you. National tenant package all the contracts you need, the proof of fund. Here is the proof of fund. We started in the beginning of the year. I placed $3.3 million. Original Resources, my company. It's the CD number. It says Original Resources is an outstanding client of the bank and is the owner of Mixif Hedge Fund. If you need more information, don't hesitate to contact my office. Boom, he is the banker and or the president of Original Resources, Mr. Sharif Medawar, directly with my phone number. And the banks, and you go lock in a property, the brokers call me. Here, we've done this one is on Puerto Rico. I'm touring the students, I'm showing them so everybody can get hands-on training and get to feel the entire process, understand what to do. I limit it to a small group of people. The consultations are held in a very close, one-on-one. You get to ask your questions, you get to brainstorm, explain to you exactly how to do it in a fund. And if you want to set up your own fund actually to do stuff like this and keep growing, we discuss that one-on-one, help you do it. But focus, this is very simple, guys. People sometimes take homes and fix them and all this. You've done the hard work, do the smart work now. Make it easy. Here are the open consultation dates. Now, I want you to call 407-608-5448 and reserve your space, because once I get to 8 people, I'm not taking any more. Okay? Call in, reserve the space, because once I stop that program, once I have enough people, you're going to say, I wish I did it with him. This is the only time I saw a hedge fund manager. We have millions of dollars being managed. Come and learn from the real game being played in the millions of dollars, placing national tenants that give corporate guarantees in the billions of dollars. This is the real thing. There is no training like it. It's not like, let me go compare. There's no comparable programs out there. This is it. You've seen me for so many years doing this, guys. You know, we have 1,000 video success stories with students. We have the archived calls. I leave it for you. I want you to do it. I have personal interest in it. I have professional interest in it, because that's how we make it happen. These tenants get ready to use documents. You will have the actual business model. You will get exactly what you need to send them. You don't have to create anything. It's like a checklist. You follow what I tell you, you will make the money. You want to go be creative? Good luck. Let it take you 15 years to figure that stuff out. It took me years with the billionaires to get it down to formulas that make me money. And it took me years to apply and prove it to myself that it works. When training people and when the success stories started coming, I said, oh my God, let's take it to another level. Let's take it to the hedge fund, and let's grow the game to the biggest game level ever. Single tenant property is what I'm looking for. Let's get a tenant with a letter of intent. The terms of the tenant got to be 10 to 15-year leases. They want the longer term because they actually lock in a price, so they'll be fighting you for long term. That's not difficult. It is standard for most of these tenants to sign a triple net lease where they pay tax, insurance, and maintenance. And most of them, the ones we give you, 4,000 tenants, they give a corporate guarantee. We make it so simple, but you got to do the calls. You've got to do the work, and I'll guide you through it. Here it is again, 407-608-5448. You get everything, and it's really 7 documents that you'll use. It's not that difficult. I'll work hard with you to get it, to make it happen. By the way, here it is. This morning, we're just having lunch, and when we finished, I just stepped and I asked the bartender to take a picture of us. This is at the hotel in Cancun, way on my right side there, and Daniel on my left side. You can tell the bartender was a little drunk. We were not drinking. The bartender a little drunk. You could tell the picture is a little tipsy. I guess he was falling. And he asked us if we wanted another beer. We said we were not drinking beer. For the love of God, we're focused. We want to make money. So call me for the joint venture partnership, 407-608-5448. Let's make it happen. Let's have some fun together. This is Sharif Medawar, and you'll have everything support online. If you prefer to email us for whatever reason you can't use the phone right now, email us at info@cmri.com, and we will schedule time for you to call you as soon as possible and get you going. 407-608-5448. Let's make it happen. Let's get the deals happening. Let's find the right properties, analyze the numbers, create the opportunities by controlling the properties and making a killing on these assignments and these deals. So I want to make sure that everybody is aware that these dates that I have, I am not going to keep doing this for the rest of the year. We're going to do this a few more times, and that's it. The people that are in, I want to work with them and help them grow. So I want to thank you for your time. I look forward to working with you one-on-one, and make sure you call, because everybody's waiting for you to call so we can schedule you in and make it happen. Thank you so much. God bless.